Oh yeah, by the way, I want to hear your opinion on this, but I'm trying Spotify right now
Why?
because I live by the philosophy if it ain't broke, just blow it the fuck up because I'm bored.
Okay.
So I'm just like, let me try Spotify.
I like that. I like that for you. Not necessarily.
I'm not the biggest fan of it so far. There's parts of it I like and parts that I don't like, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like the way of listening is different on Spotify versus like Apple Music, which
Yeah.
is what I've been using.
And that's why I like it. But go ahead.
Because that style of listening, I'm not quite the biggest fan of because I like my brain like structure
Yeah.
to that type of stuff. So like whenever I listen to music, this would be interesting to see how you like to listen to music. But for me, I like to have my library. So then I always go to artists first. Then I'll go to whatever artist I want to listen to, click into them, click into whatever album, the song I want to listen to, or just the album I want to listen to, period. And then I'll play it from there.
Yeah.
And then if I want to listen to something else, I'll go to it.
Yeah.
Very like iPod style.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, that's how it was from the start because that's all I used. But then I got Spotify and I realized how much stuff I would download to my library that I would never listen to ever again. So I'm like, why do I listen to it this way? And I like listening to I like finding new music, and Spotify is great with that for me because that's kind of like the whole like how you listen on Spotify. It's like playlists or radios and stuff like that. You can save stuff to like your library, but
The library it pisses me off.
it's more like it's
The
not,
way they just structure it just pisses me off.
because it's not like a library like Apple Music.
Yeah.
It's like a playlist library. Like you make playlists and that's how you structure it. And I just like that way more because I mean, sometimes I know what artists I want to listen to, but then other times I'm just like, I want to listen to the sound or this vibe and like create a radio for that type of artist. I just love it. I just love it. That's how I listen to music. So that's why I like Spotify.
See, I like knowing what I want to find and look for it.
Yeah.
I don't really like how it's kind of,
But you can do that too on Spotify.
I just don't like how it structures itself though. So like with your library, it just like always brings up what you've most recently listened to. And then you can try to do the artist, but then it does it by whatever you've most listened to or whatever, or most recently
But
listened
you
to.
can just search it though. They have a search option.
Do you know how many artists that I have to keep track of in my head?
Oh, okay. That's why you save it.
Because
to
you
your
think I
playlist.
also don't just listen to like American music. I listen to music in different languages. So then it's like, okay, now I got to remember this thing that I don't really.
That is true. That
where
is
it's
true.
like, oh fuck.
That is true.
Like one of my favorite rock bands.
Yeah. I mean, if your favorite rock bands, I wouldn't know that the artist.
Well, here's also the more confusing thing is the way they write it, like in English.
Yeah.
It's a different, like stylized version of what's called Romaji, which is our alphabet, like a Latin alphabet.
Yeah.
They use a different version of it, so it's spelled wrong, differently than what it
Okay.
should be.
Yeah.
So like they spell it like Ling Tosite Siguri, whereas actually it's pronounced like Rin Toste Sigure.
Mm,
So it's like wrong.
yeah.
So if I want to look it up, then it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Luckily, I mean, I have that memorized, but just an example.
Yeah. I mean, but you get used to it. It's not like I can understand that because sometimes that happens to me. Like I'll listen to a new song that I like, and then I wouldn't save it or anything, and I'll forget it.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't you have to do that on Apple Music too? Don't you have to save it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But then it's organized once you save it.
yeah, if I save it, it's usually in my liked, and I could just look at my liked.
But then once you start getting too many likes,
I mean,
because then the likes aren't that organized, I feel like either.
when you like something, it just
Because
goes
this
to
is
your
just like a
playlist.
long playlist, right?
Yeah, it goes by your recent likes. So like, if you like something a while ago, it'd probably be at the bottom. But that's why you got to make a playlist, a vibe playlist. I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad you moving over to the Spotify game.
I'm not committed.
Yeah, I know. But you
Just
will be.
fucking trying things. I do like the fact that like I could have my music and like podcasts in the same place.
Yep.
I do kind of like that.
Yeah, and I think once you start like playing around with it more, you probably like how you learn or figure out new artists and music.
Here's one complaint I have that I had to fucking try to go through settings and do some EQs. It sounded different than Apple Music.
Yeah, Apple Music. I forget what they called it, but their quality's better.
Well, yeah, they have lossless.
Yeah,
Or at least they say they have lossless. They basically have higher quality codecs.
yeah,
So like what I noticed is, first of all, in the settings for Spotify, it had, it used what's called normalization,
yeah,
which then changes levels and shit, which I had to figure out how to turn that off. And then after that, instead of having like, so Apple Music and everything, the standard EQ is just flat.
Yeah.
To make it sound the same, so I took a song and I would play like 5 seconds, and then I would have it on Apple Music at the mark I was going to stop at to keep going back and forth so I could EQ it. So I had to kind of EQ the higher end on Spotify a little bit to get it to match.
Mm.
I think that's just because the sample rate's lower.
Mm.
So that takes off high end usually first.
Yeah. So maybe it's like, is it sound better Apple Music, or maybe you're just used to listening to Apple Music?
Well, I think because it's a higher codec,
Probably sounds better.
it sounds better. Here's the thing is you barely notice,
Yeah.
but I could because I was just used to it.
Yeah.
And if you go next, like if you would play from one to the other, if you knew what to listen for, you could hear a difference.
Mm.
It wasn't a huge difference. I just bumped up the EQ and the high end,
Yeah.
and then it got to pretty much match.
Yeah. One
Because that's like, think about, you know how with a lot of, especially like early Drake, that underwater sound.
Yeah.
What most people do to do that sound, they use what's called a low pass filter, which cuts off the EQ above certain frequencies.
Yeah.
The way 40 did it is he actually would record something and then lower the sample rate
Mm.
to get that effect. That's how he did it. So basically, that's what's kind of happening right there.
Mm.
Is because it's a lower sample rate codec, it's going to have some high end missing.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that Spotify has a feature where you can blend like songs.
Yeah.
I forgot what you call it, but if you turn it up, it's like 10. It goes up to 12 seconds, and the song that plays next, it kind of blends in with the song that played currently, like up to 12 seconds. So you can, it's like a transition for like
You disgusting
like how
monster.
DJs list. I love it because like imagine listening. I love it. Imagine listening to like a playlist. You're just like listening in the car, like just chilling, and then the next song comes and that transition.
You don't
happens.
respect the artist.
Fire.
You don't respect the writers.
I mean, I do respect the artists and writers. You were saying artists going to be replaced, and I said I
Yeah,
wasn't.
you do. Because because the corporations.
Because I'm saying artists.
Do you really
I
want to go
respect the
down
artists. That's
Oh,
why I
I
said
respect the artists, but I know the corporations don't.
it. Well, I respect the artists.
It has nothing to do with what I think.
No, it
With how I feel about artists. It's what I
Okay.
say
That's
corporations
how you
feel about artists.
Okay.
This is how I feel about corporations, how they feel about artists.
Yeah. So you're saying artists won't.
But let's not go down a whole fucking 15-minute episode again of just us yelling at each other.
Well, AI.
I think that's the loudest we ever got to.
Really?
Yeah.
You're allowed?
Yeah.
I feel like we were
I can tell
talking-
it when editing, I could tell the difference from that argument, like when that discussion started, but since before it was kind of like, we're like, ah, da, 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 and then it was just like, are you kidding me?
AI will not replace.
Yes, it will. That's literally what happened.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And I was like, RV's talking about something else, and you're like, no, we're here already.
We're already in hell. We're staying. Because I know it'll just keep coming back up if we don't keep going,
Yeah,
like it just did.
very true. Very true. I forgot what we were talking about.
We're talking about Spotify versus Apple Music.
Oh yeah, Spotify's elite,
They need higher codecs.
I guess.
You don't care about that shit.
I mean, I listen to it like on other places, and I don't really. It's not that big a deal. But I'm like, I respect your opinion about it, because a lot of other people might feel like that.
My ears are elite ears here. My ears are just pretentious.
I mean, yeah, it's like engineers should probably feel the same way. I
Yeah,
guess.
most people that are like really that way, they'll use Tidal, because apparently Tidal, everything is like
Yeah.
lossless.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And Apple has it, but it'll tell you it's doing it, but it'll only really do it under certain circumstances. Because
Oh,
like you
okay.
can't. It'll like if I'm was using Bluetooth headphones, it'll say that it's doing a lossless, but the current Bluetooth standard can't do that much data. So it's not really, it's lossless then being compressed through Bluetooth before going through Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So it's not true lossless, but even then you could still kind of hear a difference.
Yeah. Bring it up to Spotify, man. Let them know. I don't need lossless. But maybe they're like,
They're probably just like,
Yeah.
that's more money for us.
yeah,
That's more money for fucking, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Like, what is it called whenever it's not transcoding, but you would still involve that. It's more bandwidth. Is that the word I'm looking
Oh,
for?
okay. More bandwidth, yeah, because it's more data going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're technically the biggest, so they're probably
Yeah.
looking at like, oh, that's going to be a lot of money if we
Yeah.
add this feature for what most people don't really care about.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, YouTube now got rid of like, so you remember how it used to be if you're watching YouTube and if you wanted to change like the quality from like 480 to HD or whatever,
Yeah.
you'd go to your settings, quality, and then you choose your whatever your resolution is going to be.
Yeah.
Now to do that, they have so many steps because first it'll go through like a thing of like high quality, medium quality, like low quality. Like it doesn't give you an actual number.
Really?
And then, yes, because they're trying to save money.
Mm.
Because most people, when they see like, oh, I'll go for the highest one.
Yeah.
And honestly, like on this side of the screen, you can barely tell the difference between 480 and 720.
Yeah.
Let alone like, why the fuck are some Android phones fucking 4K screens?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a 6-inch screen, bro.
Yeah.
Gonna have it like right here.
Yeah. Can't really tell. My TV it has the numbers, but I do know there's a different UI about it. Like you got to go to advanced now. Like
Yeah,
usually it
that's what
was
I'm
just
saying.
like quality and tech quality. Now it's like settings, quality, advanced, and then when you hit advanced, that's where you can change it.
Yeah. And even then, I think they still will like take it down.
Really? Mine's always the same.
Well, I'm saying like he'll tell you something, but I think when people have
okay.
actually like gone under the hood,
Yeah.
it's not quite what they say.
Mm. But yeah,
I'm just saying.
I mean, smart about them. Like,
I mean, here's the thing: is most people can't really tell that difference.
and most people that be on YouTube are not trying to go to the highest quality possible you can get at.
Well, here's
So-
the other thing: is their compression is so bad
Yeah.
to where it's like you can look at 4K, it'll look fucking like HD
Yeah.
because it's just compressed the shit.
Yeah. So,
But that's that's why people usually put like their short films on Vimeo.
Yeah.
Because Vimeo has less compression.
Yep.
But then they also charge you out the ass now.
yeah. Which, hey, sometimes you got to do. It's expensive to get high quality, all this data and stuff.
I guess. But here's the thing, like apparently what Vimeo started doing because they realized, I guess, like they aren't making money through B2C. They had to start making money B2B.
Yeah.
So what they started doing is because most people when they put their shit on something like Patreon, people would use Vimeo to host their videos.
Yeah.
Mostly because the thing, if you do it on host it from YouTube, there's a way to like
You can just click the link and it will take you to the YouTube video and you can share the YouTube
yeah,
video.
basically someone exactly.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
No,
for
because
once.
I did it with my Patreon. Like I saw a Patreon and literally you just click the YouTube video and
Yeah.
it'll take you to the YouTube video. And like the Patreon people were like mad because people were just sharing the unlisted link.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I forget you actually use Patreon.
Yeah.
Like I don't really ever. I don't really have anything I want to pay for to watch on Patreon. Honestly, right now.
I like supporting people.
Yeah,
And
I'm here for support, but I don't really.
there's some things that I like on Patreon. Well, really just one person I like pay for. But I'm not mad because it's only $3 a month. And I'm like, I like them. I support them. $3
Yeah.
a month. Not a big deal. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for supporting
Yeah,
creatives
I feel you.
directly instead of like YouTube fucking pulling their bullshit
it's-
they'll do with ad rev.